How did an ordinary morning on February 24th, 2023, turn into a deadly mystery inside the Banfield home? What caused the sudden screams from an upstairs bedroom, and why did gunshots follow moments later? When police arrived, why did the evidence feel wrong? Two bodies, a knife, and a story that didn't fully make sense. As investigators searched for answers, what secrets were uncovered that revealed a chilling case of deception, planning, and murder? Support the channel by liking the video, sharing your thoughts in the comments, and subscribing for more stories. It truly helps. Thank you. Let's dive into today's case. Christine Banfield was born in September 1985 and raised on Long Island, New York. People who knew her often described her as kind, strong, and full of energy. She had a cheerful personality and cared deeply about others. Neighbors frequently saw her outside walking the family's husky, showing how much she loved animals and took her role as a pet owner seriously. In 2003, when Christine was 18 years old, she started college at Quinnipiac University in Connecticut. She chose to study nursing because she wanted to help people. During her first year at school, she met Brendan Banfield. The two quickly formed a close bond and began dating. Christine worked hard and earned her nursing degree in 2007. A year later, in 2008, Brendan proposed to her. After being engaged for almost 2 years, they were married on June 12, 2010. As a nurse, Christine was known for her dedication. She often worked very long shifts, sometimes staying on duty for 16 hours overnight. Even though the job was tiring, she truly loved what she did. She sometimes shared moments from her life online, including her passion for staying healthy and active. Christine enjoyed exercising and took pride in the fit lifestyle she had created for herself. She posted now and then about her workouts at a local gym, where Brendan would occasionally join her. Friends said Brendan was very encouraging. He often supported Christine during her fitness journey, cheering her on and noticing how her hard work paid off. Christine once mentioned how good it made her feel when Brendan praised her progress and pointed out the positive changes in her life. Unlike Christine, Brendan preferred to stay private online and rarely shared personal details. He worked as a federal agent in the tax department, where he investigated cases involving tax cheating and financial crimes. Christine and Brendan built a life together based on teamwork and big dreams. They enjoyed spending time together doing fun things like going to football games, inviting friends over, traveling, and visiting other countries. To people looking in from the outside, they seemed like the perfect American couple, meeting young, growing together, and planning a happy future. They first lived in New York, but later moved to Herndon, Virginia. There, they settled into an expensive home in one of the area's most desirable neighborhoods. Both Christine and Brendan had well-paying jobs, which allowed them to live comfortably without money troubles. Because of their careers, the couple sometimes had to travel for work. This meant they were not always together. Christine once shared online that they had to place their dog in a pet hotel because both she and Brendan were away on business trips at the same time. In October 2017, when Christine was 32 years old, she joyfully announced that she was 3 months pregnant. A few months later, on March 30th, 2018, she gave birth to a baby girl. From then on, Christine's online posts showed how much joy she found in being a mother. She often shared photos and moments from life with her growing family. In 2019, the Banfields decided to join the Culture Care Au Pair program. This program helps families connect with young adults from other countries. These au pairs live with the family, help take care of children, attend classes, and learn about a new culture. In return, they receive a place to live, meals, and spending money. In April 2019, a young woman named Amanda came from Brazil to live with the Banfields through the au pair program. Over the next 2 years, she became very close to the family. Amanda often shared photos of trips, holidays, and everyday life, showing how involved she was with them. Christine even said that Amanda felt like part of the family, not just someone helping in the house. Amanda's program was supposed to end in 2021, but she stayed for 6 more months. At that time, travel around the world was difficult, and she could not return home right away. By then, she had already built a strong bond with the Banfields. Because the experience went so well, the family decided to welcome another au pair, again hoping to find someone from Brazil. That search led them to Juliana Perez Maggales. Juliana was 23 years old and worked as a nurse in Sao Paulo. She arrived toward the end of 2021 after completing all the required steps for the program. Like Amanda, Juliana connected well with the family. While she did not appear quite as close as the first au pair, she still formed a good relationship with them. The Banfields felt comfortable enough with her that they chose to extend her stay for another year. Then, on February 24, 2023, everything suddenly changed. Around 7:50 in the morning, a short 911 call was made using Juliana's phone. The call ended suddenly without much information. About 13 minutes later, another call came in. This time, Juliana told the operator that a friend had been badly hurt. Soon after, Brendan took the phone and spoke to the dispatcher himself. He said he had found his wife, Christine, stabbed in their upstairs bedroom. He also said that he had shot a man named Ryan. Police arrived at the house within 10 minutes. Inside an upstairs bedroom, they found Ryan dead and Christine badly injured. Christine was rushed to a nearby hospital. Their 4-year-old daughter was also inside the home at the time, but she was not physically hurt. Sadly, Christine did not survive her injuries and passed away shortly after arriving at the hospital. Brendan was also taken to receive medical care for an injury to his leg. Early police reports said the dead man was Joseph Ryan, who was 38 years old. At first, authorities explained that Ryan had broken into the Banfield home, attacked Christine with a knife, and was then shot by Brendan. That was all the information police released at the time. After leaving the hospital, Brendan refused to talk to police or the media about the incident. Juliana, on the other hand, cooperated fully. She gave detectives a detailed statement about what she saw and signed an official report. According to Juliana, she arrived at the Banfield home that morning for work and saw Joseph Ryan trying to force his way inside. Frightened, she called Brendan, who was not at the house, asking what she should do. She said Brendan told her to stay calm and promised he would get there quickly. Juliana said she stayed outside for her own safety until Brendan arrived. Once he got there, they went into the house together and found Christine badly injured. Joseph Ryan was still inside the home. She said a struggle happened between Brendan and Ryan. During the fight, Brendan reached a gun that was in the house and shot Ryan multiple times, killing him. Brendan later confirmed Juliana's account, claiming he had acted in self-defense. But one detail in Juliana's statement raised questions. She said she arrived at the house early that morning to start work. Since au pairs usually live with the family, investigators wondered where she had been before that. For months, police kept almost everything they learned hidden from the public, revealing very little about the case. As the months passed after the tragedy, neighbors often saw Juliana at the Banfield home, though it wasn't clear if she was still living there. She was frequently seen with the family's young daughter, which made people think she might still be helping care for her. By August 2023, Juliana posted online that she was looking for a nanny job. Since au pairs aren't allowed to take other work while in the program, this suggested she was no longer part of it. After more than 7 months of investigation, police collected important evidence and forensic findings that started to reveal the truth. They also looked at what Juliana had reportedly told her family back in Brazil. At first, authorities believed Joseph Ryan had killed Christine after a personal dispute, as he and Christine were allegedly involved romantically. But everything changed on October 19, 2023. Juliana was suddenly arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Police claimed she, not Brendan, had fired the shots that killed Joseph Ryan. Investigators also discovered that Brendan had not been at the house when the shooting happened, which contradicted the story both he and Juliana had told earlier. Juliana was taken to the Fairfax County Detention Center. At first, many people supported her, seeing her as a brave young woman who had tried to help the family that had welcomed her. Others felt sympathy for Brendan, thinking he might have lied to protect Juliana, knowing that her visa status in the U.S. could be at risk. Later, police revealed that there were no signs of forced entry into the Banfield home. This suggested that Joseph Ryan may have gone inside willingly, possibly even with Christine's permission. People also began asking whether Juliana had any connection to Ryan before that morning. These new details changed how the public saw the case. Many supporters started doubting Juliana's story, and online theories began spreading. One popular theory suggested that Juliana and Brendan were secretly involved and planned the attack to get rid of Christine. People speculated that if Brendan divorced Christine, he would have to split his money and assets, so he and Juliana allegedly used Ryan to carry out a staged attack. Another theory said that Brendan and Juliana were out together that day and came home to find Christine and Ryan arguing. In this version, some believed Ryan was a private investigator hired by Christine to check on a possible affair. A violent struggle then happened, ending with both Christine and Ryan dead. A third theory suggested that Christine and Ryan were romantically involved. According to this idea, Brendan discovered them and killed them both in a moment of anger. Juliana, supposedly loyal to Brendan, then covered for him, and the two started a relationship afterward. When Juliana appeared in court for the first time, she testified that on the morning of the incident, Christine had given her and the 4-year-old daughter tickets to the zoo so that Christine could have some time alone. Juliana said that Christine had planned to meet Joseph Ryan, a man she had connected with on a dating website. That morning, Juliana realized she had forgotten the child's lunch and went back home to get it. When she returned, she saw an unfamiliar car in the driveway and Joseph entering the house. Scared, she called Brendan, who told her to stay outside until he could get there. When Brendan arrived, they went inside together. Juliana admitted that she had made the first 911 call, but quickly hung up because she didn't know what to say. She then took the Banfield's young daughter to the basement to keep her safe, while Brendan prepared himself and got a gun. Shortly after, noises from the upstairs bedroom drew their attention. When they went upstairs, they found Joseph Ryan standing over Christine, who was lying naked on the bed, while Joseph, fully dressed, held a knife. Brendan pointed his gun at Joseph and told him to drop it, but Joseph threatened to hurt Christine if Brendan didn't lower his weapon. What followed was a terrifying and chaotic struggle. Joseph started stabbing Christine while Brendan fired his gun, but most shots missed, allowing Joseph to continue attacking. In desperation, Brendan shouted for Juliana to get another gun from a safe in the bathroom. When she came back, instead of handing the gun to Brendan, Juliana fired a shot that struck Joseph in the chest, killing him and stopping the attack. Afterward, they called 911 to report what had happened. Juliana's defense later relied on this account, claiming she had acted entirely in self-defense. The prosecution told a very different version of the story. They claimed that Brendan and Juliana had been secretly in a romantic relationship for months and had planned the whole incident in advance. According to the prosecutors, Brendan pretended to leave for work that morning but actually stayed nearby, waiting for a signal from Juliana. They said Joseph Ryan had been tricked into coming to the Banfield home, thinking he was meeting Christine for a romantic date. Prosecutors suggested that Brendan or Juliana had even created a fake online profile pretending to be Christine to arrange the meeting. Friends and family who saw the messages later said the writing didn't match Christine's usual style, making it seem suspicious. On the day of the attack, Joseph was reportedly greeted by Juliana at the house, which explained why there were no signs of forced entry. Then, according to this theory, Brendan ambushed him. The prosecution argued that the couple had staged everything to kill Christine. Their alleged goal, they said, was to prevent Brendan from having to split his money in a divorce and to allow him to continue living a wealthy life with Juliana. Other evidence prosecutors presented included testimony from a shooting range where a witness said Brendan and Juliana had visited 2 months before the incident. Brendan also returned alone a month later to buy a gun, the same weapon Juliana was accused of using to kill Joseph. Investigators also found that both Brendan and Juliana had replaced their cell phones just 4 days before the attack, which the prosecution argued showed careful planning. After Juliana was arrested, photos of the Banfield home revealed big changes. Her room was now empty. Her clothes, makeup, and personal belongings had been moved into Brendan's bedroom. Pictures of Christine and Brendan with their daughter had been taken down and replaced with photos of Brendan and Juliana, some even including the child. Juliana's defense admitted there may have been a relationship between her and Brendan, but said it wasn't serious. They also pointed out that both Brendan and Christine had been unfaithful, which they argued made the prosecution's claim of a carefully planned scheme questionable. During court, Brendan refused to answer questions that could incriminate him, using his Fifth Amendment rights, and gave only very short responses. The prosecution also raised concern that Juliana had tried to get a new passport after her original was taken during the investigation, suggesting she might have planned to leave the country. Her defense said she had only applied for it as a legal form of identification and had no intention of fleeing. Even with this explanation, the judge denied bail, keeping Juliana in custody until her trial. Brendan was released but stayed under investigation. He first claimed he had shot Joseph Ryan, but after forensic evidence proved Juliana fired the fatal shot, he changed his story. In the meantime, the Banfield's young daughter was placed with relatives as the legal process continued. Months later, on September 16, 2024, police arrested Brendan, charging him with first-degree murder in connection to the deaths of Christine and Joseph. Prosecutors claimed Brendan had planned the killings and used a firearm during the attack at the family home. While authorities didn't reveal all the evidence against him, they noted that he and Juliana had booked a trip to Brazil just days before his arrest. During Brendan's first court hearing, it came out that his relationship with Juliana had started in August 2022, almost a year after she began working for the Banfields. At the time, Juliana was in a long-distance relationship with a boyfriend in Brazil. The prosecution said that a month before the attack, Brendan and Juliana had traveled together to New York, stayed in a hotel, and even went to a show on the morning of the incident. Brendan told the court that on the morning of the attack, he left home at 7:11 a.m. and stopped at McDonald's for coffee, part of his normal routine. Around 7:37 a.m., he said he got a call from Juliana saying a stranger had entered the house. He claimed he rushed home immediately, leaving his breakfast unfinished. During the hearing, prosecutors played the recording of Juliana's first 911 call, which lasted only 8 seconds. In the background, Joseph Ryan could be heard groaning in pain before the call cut off. When asked about the short call, Brendan said it ended because they couldn't find the phone after it fell. Brendan admitted that he had told Juliana to get a second gun from the bathroom safe as a precaution. But instead of giving it to him, Juliana fired the gun, hitting Joseph in the chest. This part of the story raised serious questions about what really happened. Investigators pointed out a 13-minute gap between Juliana's first and second 911 calls. Joseph was already injured during the first call, so police wondered why it took so long to make the second call. Prosecutors suggested that this time might have been used to stage the scene, claiming that Joseph's body had been moved to make it look like he had been attacking Christine. Police also found that the knife at the scene belonged to Joseph and had been brought in a backpack. In online chats with someone he thought was Christine, Joseph had been told to bring the knife as part of shared fantasies. The website he used focused on casual encounters and fetishes involving pain and pleasure. Authorities argued that this gave Brendan and Juliana an opportunity to manipulate the scene. Paramedics who arrived at the home noticed several odd details. Both Christine's and Joseph's bodies seemed to have been moved or repositioned. Joseph's arms were crossed and stained with Christine's blood in a way that wouldn't have been possible after he was shot in the chest. While paramedics tried to help Christine, Brendan reportedly seemed more focused on Joseph, repeatedly asking if he was still alive. Authorities saw this as a sign that Brendan was worried Joseph might survive and reveal what really happened. Blood spatter analysis added to these suspicions. Forensic reports finished in August 2023 confirmed that both Christine and Joseph had been moved after their fatal injuries. Combined with text messages and witness accounts, this evidence began to piece together what had really happened. Before the incident, Joseph had told a friend about his online communications with someone he thought was Christine. He said she had told him her marriage was open and that she and Brendan were involved with other people. In their chats, Joseph shared explicit plans, including photos of items he intended to bring to the meeting: a knife, handcuffs, and belts. He even mentioned cutting Christine's pajamas with the knife, which matched the torn pajama set found at the scene. However, police found that Joseph had never actually spoken to Christine by phone or video. This became a key detail in the investigation. Authorities suspected that either Brendan or Juliana had created the fake profile Joseph was communicating with. If Joseph had been talking to Juliana, her Brazilian accent might have given her away, but none of Joseph's friends remembered noticing any accent, making it seem even more suspicious. Investigators thought that Brendan might have made up a story to cover any inconsistencies, possibly claiming that Christine had lived in Brazil. Friends of Joseph told police that he was a calm, peaceful person and could never have hurt Christine. They believed he had been tricked into the situation, which led to his death. Between Juliana's arrest on October 19, 2023, and Brendan's arrest on September 16, 2024, the two stayed in regular contact. In one recorded conversation, Juliana asked Brendan, "I hope you're not staying with me just because you're afraid I'll turn on you." Brendan simply told her to be quiet. This exchange, along with other evidence, made authorities even more suspicious about their roles in the crime. By late October 2024, Juliana accepted a plea deal to avoid a full trial. She pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and agreed to testify against Brendan at his trial, which was scheduled for February 2025. Prosecutors said her sentence would depend heavily on her testimony and the outcome of Brendan's case. During her confession, Juliana revealed that Brendan had planned the whole attack. Their romantic relationship had started in August 2022, nearly a year after she began working for the family. By fall 2023, Brendan wanted to get rid of Christine and started planning the crime. He created a fake profile on an adult dating site focused on fetish-based fantasies and pretended to be Christine to communicate with Joseph Ryan, luring him into the situation. Over time, Brendan tricked Joseph into coming to the Banfield home, telling him to bring certain items, including a knife. To make the plan seem real, he had Juliana call Joseph on Telegram, pretending to be Christine. Juliana said she was nervous at first, but eventually did what he asked. On the day of the incident, Brendan left the house, pretending to go to work, but stayed nearby. He told Juliana to handle Joseph's arrival and go along with the plan. Juliana said she felt scared and trapped, with little choice but to follow his instructions. She made the calls as Brendan directed. Christine's phone went straight to voicemail because Brendan had turned it off and hidden it in a kitchen drawer that morning. Brendan, waiting at a nearby McDonald's, received Juliana's call. He pretended to try calling Christine, knowing it would go to voicemail. Then he returned to the house, picked up Juliana and the couple's daughter, and entered the home through the basement. He left the child there before heading upstairs with Juliana. Brendan carried his service weapon, while Juliana held the gun he had given her earlier. When they went into the bedroom, they found Joseph holding a naked Christine. Brendan shouted, "Police!" and shot Joseph in the head, causing him to fall away from Christine. Juliana then made the first 911 call, during which Joseph's groans could be heard. She ended the call early, following Brendan's instructions. Afterward, Brendan took the knife that Joseph had brought and stabbed Christine several times. At the same time, the 911 operator tried to call back, but Juliana didn't answer. She then saw that Joseph was still moving and fired the fatal shot into his heart. The medical examiner later confirmed that Brendan had staged the scene, moving both Christine and Joseph's bodies to make it look like Joseph had attacked Christine. Once the scene was set, Brendan told Juliana to place a second 911 call, reporting that an intruder had broken into the Banfield home and attacked Christine. When police and paramedics arrived, Brendan went with Christine to the hospital, while Juliana took the couple's daughter to the police station. The case quickly captured intense public attention. Juliana's confession left little doubt that the crime had been a planned conspiracy by her and Brendan to kill Christine and start a life together. Brendan's trial is scheduled for February 2025, with Juliana's sentencing expected shortly after. Joseph Ryan's mother has stayed out of interviews to respect the investigation, but she posted on social media after Brendan's arrest, saying losing her only son has been unbearably painful and that her hope for justice keeps her going. Both Christine's and Brendan's families have expressed deep shock and grief over the tragedy. Christine was laid to rest at Queen of All Saints Cemetery in Suffolk County, New York. Friends and family want her remembered not as a victim, but as a smart, joyful, and caring woman who was always cautious for her own safety, but endlessly devoted to helping others. The Banfield's 6-year-old daughter is now being cared for by close relatives. No details about Joseph Ryan's funeral have been made public. The families continue to cope with the tragedy as the nation watches closely, waiting for justice. Thanks for listening to Bleak True Crime. If you're fascinated by real-life mysteries and chilling cases from around the world, explore our channel for more in-depth true crime stories. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our next gripping investigation.